Here are some simple steps to be reminded of that will help us work safely around underground services. Step 1. Pre-start. Before starting to dig for any services, we need to run a pre-start and go through the site drawings, making sure they are for the right location. Have more than one person check the drawing and ensure the legends are understood properly. All relevant permits and checklists should be filled out before starting work. Standard PPE should be worn on site at all times. This includes boots, overalls, helmet and eye protection. Step 2. Walk the job. Never rely on plans alone. Always walk the length of the job to look for evidence of other services that may not be shown on the plan. Look for cables coming down poles and check inside pits and check the depth and direction of services. Check for the domestic water and gas meters in front yards to confirm the approximate location of service. Also look for any markings or signs of old trenches like subsidence which can indicate a possible old trench line. Extra attention should always be given around intersections as more services are usually in these areas. Step 3. Marking out services. The marking of strategic services will be done by the service owner. Other services can be located using a service locator with a competent operator. Once all the services are located, mark them up on the ground using the correct colour marker paint and symbols. If you're not sure what they are, check the WorkSafe chart in the Documents section of this profile. Step 4. Safe digging practice. There are many ways of proving a service safely. Use the most appropriate method for the depth of service you are proving and the ground conditions they are in. Before any excavation is started, make sure you have sufficient barriers available to protect the excavated area. One of the ways to prove the exact location of the service is by using a hydrovac unit. Always dig by hand before using the excavator, exposing the service from the side. If you are proving a service by hand, carefully expose it by digging a slot trench and using a trenching shovel. Remember to always dig across the service, never along it, and always dig with the shovel blade parallel to the service so you avoid catching the service with the edge of the shovel. Going down a thin layer at a time using gentle foot pressure, this will minimise the chance of you damaging the service with your shovel. A fork can be used to loosen rocks, but great care must be taken. An excavator fitted with a spade bucket is another option if the service is deeper. Make sure you have a spotter and they stand in the right location to watch the cutting edge of the bucket as the dirt is being scraped off, also in thin layers. The operator and the spotter must agree on the hand signals to be used. Make sure you tell each other about services in the ground when there is a change in personnel on the job. A blunt probe can sometimes be used carefully to help locate services like pipes or ducts. They should never be used to locate cables because you could be electrocuted or services could get damaged. Where services are deeper than 1.5 metres, always use trench support before anyone goes into the hole. Step 5. Protecting exposed services. Where possible, once the services are exposed, leave the trench open during the drilling process to allow a visual check on the services being crossed. Extra clearance may be needed based on the ground conditions you are drilling in. Fence off or cover the open trench to protect the services, making sure no weight is put on them. Support them where needed using the right materials and methods. If the services are to be backfilled, use PAP 10 type material. Step 6. Backfilling surfaces. Lastly, be careful when backfilling services to make sure the material around them and especially underneath the services are compacted correctly. This will minimise ground movement around the service and make sure the service is not ruptured once the job is finished. By identifying, proving and protecting underground services in a careful manner, we will keep each other safe and provide a great service to our clients and the community we live in.